What up, friends? Back for another review, this time from our friends over at Fracture Sounds, who've been doing some extraordinary things with pianos. Now, up until this point, I've been kind of using Noir from Native Instruments as my go-to piano for quite a while. I've used Keyscape from Spectrasonics, and some other kind of odds and ends of piano libraries. They've done some pretty cool things with this. It is a felted upright. Let's hear how it sounds. That's how it sounds. I'll do some more playing as we go about, and I've also created a composition pairing it with some of their other really cool libraries that I thought would work really well to kind of highlight the piano. This is the interface. Nice and simple, nice and clean. Okay, so to start off with, I'm going to play everything in its kind of raw sampled form so you can really hear the piano with all those other effects added in. Okay, so we'll use that as we go through our interface. So we have the color. So if you want to cut through the mix a little bit better, you can do that. If you want to push it to the background, you can do that as well. So that's your color control. Stereo width all the way down, mono. Okay, or you can push it out wide. Say you're doing like a duet, let's say cello and piano. This would be a really cool way to push that stereo sound out and then have the cello coming through dead center. That's probably how I would use it. Atmospheric intensity, we're going to come back to that. Key release noise, if I turn that all the way up. Okay, you can hear that, or you can bring it all the way down. So I like a little bit of key noise because I want a little bit of realism. I think that's the point of these libraries, is that I think we got to a point in sampling where everything became too sterile and clean, and now all of a sudden we're like introducing like noise and lo-fi and other stuff, which I think is a welcome change. Okay, so I'd like to dial in about a quarter, but you can do that for taste. You have your pedal. Depending on how much you want. Obviously, I don't know if I push it right up to 100, but I tend to not like a whole lot of pedal noise, just a little bit. Okay, so you can control that. Pianist noise. A creaky bench. Okay, so it's fun. If you want that feeling of realism, you can do that. I probably would not add a whole lot of that in there. It could be a little bit distracting, but it's there if you want it. You have your reverb, and then if I click on this, we have some additional reverb controls where you can select some other halls. I have the big old hall, and then a couple other controls here as well, and some credits. And then let's talk about the layer mix. Okay, so this is the raw sound. So I just want you to really hear how the piano sounds just on its own. And then what I'll do is I'll solo each of these other ones so you can hear what's going on. So you have full control. You can solo and mute each of these. If you want to save some CPU, you got these power buttons down here as well. So let's hear what ache does. So I'll just do ache on its own. Okay, so you just get this beautiful faint atmospheric layer. Let's check out Dream. You probably want to gain stage those up a little bit if you're going to use those just on their own. And then we have Clouds. Clouds is probably my favorite, but again, they're all. I feel like they're not overdone. They're just kind of in the background. They're not getting away with the piano sound. And I've pushed those all the way up. I think where you start to have some fun is when you start to mix these around a little bit. So I think I had. Let's try something like this, and let's bring everything back in. Okay, I want to push it a little bit further. I forgot to mention this atmospheric intensity. This is going to dial up those things. So if I want to go back, here what I'll do is before I play it, I'm going to solo out this again so you can hear with the atmospheric intensity all the way up. Okay, that's Ache. Let's hear Dream. I feel like that could be on a hammock record. Very cool. Then you have Clouds. Just lovely things swimming around in there. Okay, so let's pull this back and kind of mix that I want. Okay, we'll keep the intensity at 100 so you can hear that. Okay, so if you have like an atmospheric track, you can just go nuts, load it all the way up. But even at 100, I feel like it's not too much. I feel like it's not distracting too much. But let's bring them back down to about 50. Let's try this. Okay, and you can if that granular kind of thing is too much, just bring it down. See, I like it. A little bit more of that. You can tell I like Clouds. Yeah, I like to just sneak in there. As a sound design tool, you can have a lot of fun with this. You can do it as much or as little as you want. Again, it's if you just want that raw sound, just solo that out. I think they've done a really good job. There's a lovely, sometimes with felt pianos, it can get a little bit too muddy. And I feel like even when the color knob just dead center, we still have some really good clarity in those high notes. which you don't always have. Probably my biggest complaint with felt libraries is you don't get that clarity in the upper ranges. I'll play a little bit more for you. We're going to put the other camera back on, and I'll kind of have some fun with the different things, and then I'm going to run through the short track that I created. All I was doing there was literally just having some fun with the atmospheric intensity slider and just kind of moving it up and down. And you can do it per taste. You can do it based on project needs. If you want just that clear, pure felt sound, you turn that all the way up. If you want to do something a little bit more atmospheric, you can mess around with that. There's not a ton of controls in there, but just enough that I feel like you can get some very, very beautiful sounds. Let's run through the project now. So we have one instance of Fractured Sounds Woodchester. Okay, and this is how I pretty much have it set up. So key release about halfway, reverb halfway. Color, I brought it down a little bit, atmospheric intensity about 30, and this is kind of my mix. Yeah, just as I thought, the clouds is all the way up there. So just enough of that atmosphere in there just to kind of run in the background without it being too much. Okay, and then what I thought it would work really well with is Fractured Sounds Trails library. So I added 3 patches from there. Very, very cool stuff, because again, this is kind of an atmospheric library, so I thought that would work really well. Violins and cellos, Emergence. Wait till you hear how it works together with the piano. Then I have the violins and cellos. Oh, 2 patches, same patch, Emergence. And then we have their flickers. Yeah, that's a sound that you couldn't just throw all over your track, but for little moments and little accents, it's really cool. So that is it. This is an extremely minimal track. I think that when you're doing piano and strings, I think this is what you're after. Very, very small project, minimalism. And then in terms of what I did, you can probably see here. Okay, these are literally just, I did some octaves with that first sound. Okay, the first sound from Trails. They're literally just octaves. Started as single notes, then octaves. I played it down low octaves, and then when I brought in the other patch, because it's the same patch, I didn't just want to play it over top, so then we played it up higher. Okay, so I could create lots of space in this, and then we have the flickers again playing octaves down low. So, big question, who's it for? I think if you're looking for a really lovely, warm sounding felt piano, I would seriously look at this library. They have a ton of other different piano libraries. I'm hoping to get my hands on a whole bunch of them so I can play them for you. I can give you my thoughts. Me personally, I think in terms of a felt sound, I think I would probably go to this one over my Keyscape collection, which I know sounds nuts because a lot of people swear by Keyscape. There's just some kind of warm sound, and I love the way that you can tweak these. So I'm going to be reviewing some other Fracture Sounds piano libraries, as well as some of their other libraries, and I'm going to be kind of starting to pair them together so you can see kind of the combinations that you can create. That's it, my friends. Stay safe. Catch you in the next one.